the military-industrial complex. They fund big pharma. They hand out government contracts. And her conclusion was blunt.
Washington, Congress, and the Senate, pretty much everyone elected, for the most part, would never vote for a bill like that because the people that donate to them would block it and tell them, do not vote for this. And this goes back to the world that everyone has gotten a peek look into through the Epstein files. The House and the Senate, on both sides of the aisle, most members of Congress and most senators are largely controlled by the richest donors in our country. And they're largely controlled by the lobbyists that represent the biggest industries in our country. And that is just a flat out fact. And once you are able to accept that, then it all starts to slowly fall into place. Before I became a member of Congress, that wasn't something I understood. So just for you and your listening audience, I was extremely naive when I ran for Congress. I'm talking about I was the dumbest person on the planet. I genuinely believed that I could get elected and I could go to Washington and I could say, hey, we need to pass a balanced budget amendment because our debt is too much money. And I just believed that as a member of Congress, I could do things like that. Well, when I got here, I found out, oh no, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, Marjorie. You are dumb. You've realized you got to learn the ways of Washington. And there is very much an agenda in place, and there are controlling industries and controlling donors, no matter who is in charge. That's why a lot of the spending and appropriation bills look very similar in many ways, with just some arguments on each side with like social issues or certain different political agenda issues. But when you boil them all down, they fund all the same stuff. Basically, the basic funding components fund the military industrial complex. They fund big pharma. They give out the NGO and they give out the government contracts. And it will do that no matter which party's in charge. And somebody like me can't stop it. Mm-hmm. And so the hard reality that I have to tell you and people that are watching is you cannot vote your way out of this. It is not going to change.
You can't vote your way out of this. And honestly, many Americans are starting to see the same pattern. A woman in Illinois recently described spending 6 hours at a city council meeting where residents spoke out against building 14 massive data centers in their community. Hundreds of people spoke. They warned about the environmental damage. They warned about the impact on wildlife. They warned about the health effects. For 6 hours, the public pleaded with their representatives. And after listening to every word, the council unanimously voted yes anyway.
I just spent 6 hours at a city council meeting from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. where they were discussing the 14 data centers they're going to build in my city. And public comment went on for hours and hours and hours of people telling them how badly our community does not need this and how detrimental it will be to the people, the wildlife, the health, the everything, all of the negative impacts of the data centers. We told them and we told them over and over and over again. And then at the end, after sitting here for 6 hours telling them, this is not what we want, they said, you guys didn't say anything about this until right now. And we've been here waiting for you guys to tell us that you think this is a bad idea and you didn't tell us. And then they unanimously voted yes for the data centers in our face. Despite the fact that there was apparently 250 people in person and 260 people, it got up to 300. We met the Zoom capacity at one point, okay? So 500 to 600 people showed up tonight. 500 to 600. And the thing is so many community members have been telling them for the past year that we don't need this. But they said, oh, it's the same couple of you. There just haven't been enough people in opposition. Meanwhile, none of this is transparent. Most of the people in our city don't even know any of this is happening. They don't have access to the news. They're not looking at the news. If people aren't on Facebook, they're basically not getting anything. And the people who have reached out haven't been heard. The people who've emailed the mayor have not been acknowledged or responded to. The people who have given written statements to be on record have not been acknowledged or replied to. Most communications are going unresponded to. And they unanimously voted yes!
That moment perfectly illustrates the growing feeling among many people. The system listens, but it doesn't really care.